Yo, what is wrong with Marcus Sasser? Now, I'm not saying it like he's being a knucklehead or anything like that. I'm saying the Marcus Sasser last season that I saw as a rookie, who was a walking bucket. I've had to send out an APB on this guy. Where is he? Where is he? I want to dive into that in this video because I have a few ideas of what's going on. And it's affecting his game a lot. But I think he's being asked to do something that he hasn't been asked to do before. Become a pass first facilitating point guard. I want to dive into that in this video. But before I do, this video is being brought to you by Bridges and Stones Family and Relationship Care. If someone you know and care for is struggling with their mental health or relationship, go to bridgesandstones.com and contact them for your free consultation today. One brave act today can create a better tomorrow. Remember, none of us make it alone. The link is in the description box below. You know, if you've been following my channel, you know just how much praises I have for Marcus Sasser. I think he is a incredible talent. He is someone who can add a huge scoring punch to any team. I think if he was on a team like the Atlanta Hawks, if he was on a team like the Indiana Pacers, if he was on a team that was more solidified, especially with more veterans, he would look so much better because he could play to his strengths. And he would be able to just go out and get a bucket and play make out of being a downhill attacking guard. Instead, he's having to fill a huge hole on this team. And that is the backup point guard position. They don't have one outside of him. And it's not just that they don't have a backup point guard. They don't really have more than maybe two facilitators on this team. Him and Cade Cunningham. I've said it before that there's a big difference between somebody who can facilitate and someone who's a floor general, and someone who is a table setter, someone who can run an offense. There's a big difference. The ability to make the first pass and to set up the offense is different than somebody who does this naturally, meaning they have the skills that they've developed. They have the mindset and understanding of the game, but they also have the desire to set their teammates up. This team really only has one of those guys, and that's Cade Cunningham. Now, of course, Jalen Duren can make some passes from the top of the key, hit a little backdoor right there. He's not Nikola Jokic. He's not Kevin Love. He is not a natural facilitating, playmaking big. That is not something that he can do for a full game for 82 games. That's not something he can be dependent upon. He can get you 1 or 2 assists a game doing that. But right now, at this stage in his career, that is an outlier versus what you can depend upon from game to game. Tobias Harris can make some passes. Simone Fontecchio can make some passes. Jaden Ivey can definitely make some passes. But none of these guys are table setters. None of these guys are floor generals. And when they look at this roster and they're looking at guys who are shooters, especially like Malik Beasley and Tim Hardaway Jr., Simone Fontecchio, guys who are catch and shoot guys, who is going to get the offense started? Who is going to make the first pass? You have a team full of shot chuckers, if I'm honest. Not in, way I'm trying to criticize, but Malik Beasley and Tim Hardaway Jr. have been shot chucking all preseason. They've been chucking and chucking away, throwing that thing up there as soon as they catch it. Somebody's got to make the first pass. Somebody's got to get some sort of offense going. And I think that this is the big difference between a team that's trying to figure out how to win in the NBA versus teams who know. We saw this against the Golden State Warriors. Detroit Pistons, one pass, one shot. And then all of a sudden you see the Golden State Warriors, 1 pass, 2 pass, 3 pass, backdoor, cut through, kick out to the opposite wing, hit the slasher from the weak side, and layup. Right? 6, 7 passes in a possession for a wide open look. That's high level offense. This team is nowhere near there. And I think what that has created is the need for Marcus Sasser to assume that role, to be a table setter. Somebody has to. And he probably has the most secure handle and ability to step in that role outside of Cade Cunningham. I don't think that that's a role suited for Jaden Ivey. And I think I actually like Jaden Ivey next to Cade Cunningham far more than I would say to stagger their minutes and have him come off the bench. But all that's to say, I think that's the role that they have Marcus Sasser in. I think the other part of that is it's becoming harder for Marcus Sasser to find his rhythm. He's passing the ball and he doesn't get it back. He brings the ball up, he passes to the first guy, they chuck the shot, and he's going back on defense. And this can be extremely hard for somebody like him to be able to find a rhythm, to get into his shot, to get his shots off, because he's an excellent finisher. He has a floater, he can finish with both hands around the rim, up and unders. He's got the pull-up jump shot in the mid-range, definitely hit you from three on the catch and shoot. He even has a nice little pull-back, step-back, three-point jump shot. But when he's not getting shots up, he's not getting opportunities, it makes it hard for him to be ready for when there is one. Now, some of the things that I think that he can do to improve, and I think he's going to show improvement as the season goes along, is that he has to learn to find a balance that Cade Cunningham has had to master and looking for both his shot and setting the table at the same time. You can't only just do one. You can't only be a table setter. Very few guys can get away with that. But if you're not a natural floor vision point guard who's looking to see the passes before they even emerge, what ends up happening is you become so embedded into trying to look for the pass, the defense plays you for that. And so they end up pressuring you and throwing you off balance, and you end up turning the ball over. Or you end up forcing passes so you can get that initial pass off because you think that that's your job and what you need to do. And as a result, you end up getting a lot of turnovers. And I think that that's what we're seeing is that Marcus Sasser he's focusing so much on trying to get the offense started that he's not recognizing that, hey, if that pass is not there, then go ahead and play make. Attack the basket. See if you can get something headed downhill. Get into that pick and roll. Do some other things. Don't just look to swing the ball to the wing, because if you do, even if they get the ball, you're probably never going to see it again. It's just going to be a shot chuck. Fortunately, Malik Beasley's been knocking them down. And I think eventually, Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to move to the bench, and I see Ron Holland, who's going to end up in that starting lineup, especially if Asar Thompson isn't cleared to play. So he's going to have a lot of shooters. He's going to have a lot of guys who are just shot chucking. So it's going to behoove him to be able to find that balance and get his while getting the shooters involved as well. And so I think we're going to see a lot of that early on. The other aspect of it is I think that something that he has to recognize is that Marcus Sasser is at his best when he's getting downhill. He's at his best when he's in attack mode. And I think that when he figures out that balance of how to look to set the table and attack, it's going to allow him to play to his own strengths. I think it's actually going to open the floor up for him because teams are going to begin to focus more on the wings and the guys coming off the screens than they are loading up on him. And he's going to find himself in far more one-on-one opportunities. And I don't know if you've noticed in preseason, guys have actually caught themselves laying off of him in transition. They're back below that free throw line trying to cover everyone else because when they look at Marcus Sasser, they're looking at a guy who's not looking to shoot, who's looking to pass. And I think that that's allowing them to focus more on taking away his options. I think he has to begin to recognize that and to say, oh, if they're going to lay off me that far, I got to step into this shot and knock it down. Hey, if there's only one guy in front of me, I got to beat him and get to the rack. But then when I don't have a wide open, obvious shot opportunity, swing that ball. And I think that finding that balance is going to allow him to get better as this year continues. But as always, I want to know what you all think. Do you think Marcus Sasser is a little bit off this preseason? What do you think of my reasons for why we're seeing him play the way that he is? But as always, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. I'm going to get at y'all next time. Peace.